Welcome to Guys Talking Fights.
Episode 9.
I'm looking at gross pictures of Junior Dos Santos' leg.
Yeah, show those to the camera real quick.
They're pretty nasty.
You can't even see it.
They're pretty
okay,
nasty. He has a hole in his leg.
Yeah, he had a bacterial infection in his leg, and if you really want to look at the picture, you can actually see the hole in his leg with a tube sticking out of it.
Yeah, I think they're draining stuff out of his leg, right?
It's not great. Right into that cup.
Right into that glass right there that Ryan has in front of him.
So
this is a shot of liquid bile from JDS's leg that Ryan has to take a shot of.
And the reason I'm doing that is because I lost a bet, like I do every single bet I make on this podcast. I lose.
And another one.
Yes.
I bet that. What did I bet?
Jeremy Stevens was going to beat Yair Rodriguez.
Co-main event.
And he did not.
He lost badly, but we're going to get into that.
Yeah, we will. So, shot of... It's actually not... it's not leg stuff. It's
Frank's Red Hot.
Frank's Red Hot.
Hey, sponsor us.
I put that shit on everything.
I put that on everything.
Especially my dick.
I'll be taking a shot of that a little later so I'm not all fucked up throughout the whole podcast.
Aww.
We doing this week?
That's fine.
So stay tuned.
Week? Yeah, let's talk about what some fights that just happened. Go over some results from the UFC fights from this past weekend.
Pop around.
Yeah, pop around. All
right,
so I guess you already mentioned, you guys, we can just start right here with we'll start with the co-main event with Jeremy Stevens and Yair Rodriguez.
So
good fight. I would say Yair looked really, really good, especially in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Second round, you'd give that to Yair as well. And then in the third round, Jeremy Stevens pretty much took control.
Mm-hmm.
He took him down. Stevens got rocked in the second round by Yair, but then recovered. I was really surprised that the fight wasn't called, but I was happy that the fight wasn't called.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremy Stevens was given a chance to recover, and he did. He got up. He finished the second round really strong. Probably not enough to take the round back, though. Would you agree?
No,
like
he lost that second round.
Yeah, still lost the round. And then came back and looked really good in the third round. Jeremy Stevens, a lot of takedowns, a lot of ground and pound. He was just vicious. Won the third round, no problem. Looked really good doing it. But the fight was a co-main event instead of the main event like it should have been, or like it was
a month ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah, like when they fought a month ago. Yeah, and so, well, Yair gets the win.
I'm glad you brought up that it was the main event about a month ago, because I think that would have played a huge role in this one, because this was a 3-round fight, and the main event, or what it previously was a 5-round event.
That's true.
5-round fight. Jeremy Stevens looked like he was not starting to pull away with the fight, but he definitely won the third round.
Yeah.
And Yair looked a little bit more tired.
For sure.
So I feel like if there was a fourth and a fifth,
that's Yair's fighting style. Is that he gives a lot of energy into all his moves. He does like all these different. He's attacking you from every angle. He puts forth a lot of energy in all his strikes, and the way he strikes.
Well, I feel like if it was a 5-round fight, Yair would have fought like it was a 5-round fight, and I don't think he would have expended so much energy in the first and second rounds. So
you would hope so.
Maybe.
I mean, unless he's an idiot, but I mean,
but
yeah,
exactly. If he
I mean,
doesn't expend as much
stupid.
energy in the first and second round, does he win the first and second round? Because Jeremy Stevens kind of just goes hard the whole fight.
I mean, he almost
from round 1 to 5.
Yair almost won the whole fight in the second round. I was actually kind of surprised that they didn't call it.
It was very close.
I'm glad they didn't, but
I think they could have.
Yeah,
like a different. Who was in there? Was it Herb Dean?
I don't think so. I don't think it was Herb.
Fuck was it? Was Herb even on this?
No, I don't.
Doesn't matter who it was anyway. But yeah, any other ref? It was another ref in there. He definitely could have called that fight.
Right.
Made sense. He took it was a leg kick.
Yeah.
A body shot.
Yep. I mean,
Stevens went down, like holding his gut, holding his ribs. Yeah, Yair swarmed on him, but he wasn't out.
He was
from a body shot.
He wasn't out, and then one of the things that we had pointed out earlier was he was going to have a lot of emotion going into this fight.
Yeah.
And I feel like after he got up in the second round, after being hurt, like physically hurt, you could see he got up and he was pissed off, and he was just throwing punches like as hard as he could. And it's like, okay, calm down. You're gonna lose this round anyway, so you might as well just try to win the third, try to finish him in the third, and it's kind of what he did. He kind of slowed down, not really slowed down, but he focused more on the third. He didn't win the fight. I can't say he laid on top of him for the third round.
No, dude.
But he won the third round, but he wasn't trying to finish him.
Yeah, I think he was. I don't think he just laid on him and just. I mean, he didn't like do any like super over the top.
Go ahead.
Super over the top. That's a shot of hot sauce. Super over the top. Super over the top. Like ground and pound, but I mean, he stayed busy though.
He was trying to win the round. He wasn't trying to win that fight. He wasn't trying to finish him.
I think he was.
I'm watching Yair Stevens.
He couldn't. I just think he didn't. He wasn't able to finish him. I think he was trying.
Watching Yair Rodriguez kick Jeremy Stevens in the stomach and knock him down and then pound on his face for a minute and have it not end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but if you look, Stevens is
defending
the whole time, going for a single leg. He's trying to get up.
Intelligently defending, but
I mean, Yair's definitely going ham on him, but Stevens is not. He's not out of it, and he's not taking like real. Well, I mean,
yeah, the last 10 seconds of that don't look good for Stevens.
Yeah, he took some good shots.
It was
to the head,
over 10 strikes, unanswered strikes.
Well, like we said, it could have been called, but it wasn't. I'm glad that it wasn't. I think the ref made the right call and not calling the fight in that moment, because
there might have even been some, hey, let's kind of let these guys go since they didn't get to do shit a month ago.
Stevens recovered fine, like with no issue. Didn't seem like he was even still hurt in the third round.
Right.
Honestly, that should be something that the refs pay attention to, is the guys that are in the ring and whether or not they do kind of rally and do well after stuff like that.
Yeah, and especially more high-profile fights like that, like to an extent, obviously the safety of the fighter matters, whatever, but to an extent, depending on who's in there and the profile of the fight, like let it go if you think the guy is not getting smashed while he's unconscious, obviously. In that situation, I feel like that was a good call. That was the right call. Surprising, yes, but still the right call. I also say yes.
Well, bringing in the fight from last week, the Thomas guy, Thomas Gillian Thomas, whatever his name was.
Yeah,
like
they got knocked out.
That one they should have just
stand-up knockout.
Yeah, that one they should have just stopped.
Yeah.
Whereas
that one could have been stopped probably
a round.
I was gonna say, like in the moment, like especially when the announcers started going like, "Oh, they could stop this fight. They could stop this fight at any time." They said that for about 15 seconds till he got knocked out, so it could have been stopped any time in there before he got knocked out.
To be fair, they did say that during round 2 of Yair.
They did, but
Stevens.
Especially that last like 15, 20 seconds, like he was getting fucked. He was out on his feet. You could tell he was taking every shot hard.
Are we talking Stevens or are we talking Thomas?
He's talking Thomas.
Oh, yeah,
Thomas.
Yeah, he was definitely
he was taking every single shot real hard.
He was definitely out.
Yeah, then he got knocked out. Anyway, moving on from that.
Greg Hardy. No contest.
The new number 1 contender.
Nope.
So first of all, let's go there. He just beat Sassoli.
He just fought Sassoli.
He just fought Sassoli.
He beat him.
He just fought him.
He definitely beat him. Go ahead, Ryan.
It's a no contest.
And why is it a no contest?
Because he uses his inhaler.
Yeah.
Right. He uses his inhaler. Correct. Which is stupid. No one understands why he did it.
Well, hang on.
Because he's dumb.
It's stupid that he was allowed to use it.
And his corner is dumb.
By the commissioner. Commissioner said, like, is it USADA approved? And like, yeah, it's USADA approved. And just...
So,
well, that's the thing,
took a big puff of his inhaler.
And Dana said the same thing. He's like, yeah, it's approved for, you can use it if you're outside of the ring. You can use it as medicinal stuff.
Yes, exactly.
It's not for use inside. He goes, we had to fight to get guys be able to drink Gatorade instead of water. He goes, that's not even a thing. He goes, it's water. That's what you're allowed in your corner is water.
Aren't inhalers considered like steroids?
They open your lungs, yes.
Yeah. Now... And I think it also does have some sort of like...
Seems very illegal to me.
Yeah,
booster. I can't give 100% fault to Greg Hardy and his team, though, because they asked...
I do, they're dumb.
They are dumb, but they asked a commissioner, not the commissioner, they asked one of the athletic people, one of the staff guys, they're like, hey, can we can we take a puff of this inhaler? And they were told they could. So then they took it.
It was a commissioner.
It was
a commissioner.
It was a commissioner. I don't know what they're called. I thought commissioner was like a title for the top guy or something. Yeah. But they asked one of the athletic.
There's more than just. I don't think there's just one commissioner. It's like
someone who works for the athletic commission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. It wasn't just like some random guy on staff. I don't think it was like a guy on the commission.
Yeah, and they asked him, "Hey, can we take a puff of this inhaler?" And he said yes. And everyone else knew. The commentators, Mark Ratner, which I believe he's the vice president of something there.
I feel like the fact that you've never, ever, 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 ever seen a guy take a puff of an inhaler in a corner, and I would highly doubt that he's the first guy ever to have asthma and fight in the UFC.
Brock Lesnar has asthma.
That's what I mean. So it's pretty obvious you can't do it. Just like
I'm sure
pretty obvious you can't knee a guy in the face when he's sitting on the ground. But he did that too.
He did do that. There's been controversy almost over every Greg Hardy fight.
So that's the thing. That's why.
And he's about to have his 5th fight of the year.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. 18 days. Yeah. 18 days after this fight that he just had. Granted, the inhaler thing, yada yada.
And it was a decision.
The inhaler thing is a 3-round fight.
He did fight Sisoli, who's not much of a name, but he is very like an underrated fighter. Like the dude's good. He's Sisoli.
And it's 3 rounds too.
Yeah.
It's not.
I wouldn't say he's a garbage fighter. He's pretty good.
Sisoli?
He's a tough dude.
Who's
a tough dude.
Who's he beat?
He's got quick hands.
Who's he beat?
That's what I mean. He's not a name. I don't know. I couldn't fucking tell you.
He's never fought in the UFC before. Greg Hardy
he was just in the Ultimate Fighter.
But he's not even ranked. Greg Hardy.
I'm not saying he's an amazing fighter. I'm just saying like he's underrated. The dude's better than he looks like he would be. He's better than what he's like gets credit for.
This is true. Joe Lozon is a better fighter than what he looks because he looks just like a normal guy.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying the dude's amazing. Just saying like he's a decent fighter. He's not a shitty fighter. He's not a pushover easy fight for anybody necessarily. Greg Hardy looked pretty good against him. All things aside, did well. I would say he looked the best he's looked so far in the UFC.
It's because of the
Wouldn't
inhaler.
say he looked aming or great. Looked all right.
I think that inhaler helped him a lot.
I think it definitely did.
But
absolutely.
But regardless,
it's ridiculous that he was able to use it. But it is what it is. It was ruled no contest. But if that hadn't happened, I don't think that it changes the outcome of the fight. Even if he didn't take a puff of that inhaler, maybe he has a fucking asthma attack in the 3rd round, and just
sucks.
And Sisoli ends up getting inside because Sisoli's short as fuck.
He's not gonna have a fucking asthma attack in the 3rd round. He used to play in NFL football
Probably not.
games.
I'm just saying it's possible, sure, but to my point, you're getting to my point exactly. Is I don't think that him taking a puff of his inhaler made any difference in the outcome of the fight. I think he was going to win that fight regardless. Is what I'm getting at.
I 100% disagree.
You think so?
I 100% disagree because so my brother has asthma.
I'm so glad you disagree.
My brother has asthma. When he needs his puffer, he is completely I think it's debilitated. Debilitated.
Yeah. Did Hardy need it though, or did he just
want to puff?
Because I'm a little short of breath right now. I'm in the middle of a fight. Like, I'll take any little advantage I can get, but I'm gonna do it smartly. And we're just gonna say like, "Hey, can I take a puff of my inhaler real quick? Where is it?" And then his corner man says, "It's in my pocket." And he goes, "Is it USADA approved?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's USADA approved." Boom! There's his inhaler in his mouth.
And that changes.
Maybe he wasn't like.
That opens the lungs.
He was just
one puff opens the lungs so much.
It doesn't mean that he asked for it because he was like super short of breath and felt like he was having an asthma attack. He could have just been like, "Yo, let's see if I can fucking get this shit and get a little advantage here." You know what I mean? I don't think he asked because he needed it. He just asked to see if he could get it.
So basically what the inhaler.
I think he knew what the fuck he was doing. Is what I'm saying.
Was the inhaler used between round 1 and 2 or 2 and 3?
2 and 3.
Between 2 and 3. That's huge because basically that takes him from already fighting for 10 minutes and your lungs are gonna close a little bit, and when you take that inhaler, they're gonna open up just like the beginning of round 1.
Sure.
So basically, he fought one round, the 3rd round, against Sisoli, who had already fought 2.
Yeah.
There's
as far as breathing goes, but as far as like the rest of your body, it doesn't. No, I guess
it does because you can move.
And everything, yeah. Sure.
You can move and like you actually have breath. It's huge.
Well, you see in NFL football games all the time.
Anyway.
You see guys sitting on the sideline.
Barring a asthma attack, he was gonna probably win that fight anyway because I don't
Yeah.
think he needed his inhaler. He just asked if he could use it, and they said sure. Like
he
I mean,
won
who really
round
fucking
1 and
knows?
2.
Anyway, I think he won round 1 and 2.
He was gonna
unless
lose round
Sasoli
3.
Knocked him out, which Sasoli should have. It's hard to say when you're not in there, but I feel like if he would have pressed a little harder in the second round, and then brought that into the third round, like he pressed pretty good in the third round. Second round he didn't do much. I feel like if he pressed harder in the second round, he would have gassed Hardy a little bit more. Inhaler, whatever. I feel like if he would have pressed him harder in the second round, he might have had a little more success in the third round. Maybe he would have clipped him because Soli's got some power. He's got quick hands. He's just fucking really short reach compared to Greg Hardy.
Right.
Compared to most heavyweights, he's a short dude.
Right.
He doesn't have big arms, but he's quick. He's got power.
He's definitely on the smaller side of heavyweight.
Yeah, he's like a less talented DC.
Oh wow. I mean,
I'm just saying, like his body
Strictly
type,
by body
the way
size.
body size. Okay, we'll go with body size.
Yeah,
As far as skills go,
I just said a less skilled, like
Hardy has
extremely less skilled. But
Yeah,
I'm just
right.
saying, like if you want to compare him to someone, it's like DC at heavyweight. He's like DC's actually probably a little bigger, probably has a little more reach actually.
yeah. Hardy has yet to be. So moving on from the Sasoli fight, unless you want to keep on.
No, we're good.
No.
We can
So-
go on Sully and Hardy. We're good.
Hardy has yet to actually be tested and fight an actual ranked heavyweight in the UFC. Fight anyone that has more than 2 fights at heavyweight in the UFC.
And then in 18 days, he's getting that fight.
He's getting knocked the fuck out by Volkov.
Alexander
Ken-
Volkov.
5 rounds.
18 days.
He's
gonna
it's the
be
main
fighting.
event.
It is the main event, dude.
Unless they switch it with
supposed to be
Zabit and
Junior
Calvin
Dos Santos,
Qatar, but,
Alexander Volkov.
which
Now,
I think they should.
From what I've read, Calvin Qatar and Zabit.
Oh, which is why Greg Hardy, by the way, speaking of the Junior Dos Santos' leg, that's why Greg Hardy's getting this fight because Junior Dos Santos was supposed to be fighting
Yes.
Alexander Volkov. He had to pull out because was it staph in his leg, whatever the
They just had a bacterial infection.
bacterial infection in his leg. So Greg Hardy said, "Dude, I'll step up and fight." UFC gives him the fight.
super cool to after going 3 rounds.
5th fight in a year.
Yeah, that is a lot, and
Good on him, man.
But
Give
that's
him
a
credit for
first.
that.
That's a first round.
Doesn't make me like the guy, but I give him credit for that.
It's a first round quitter with the one where he throws the knee to the guy's face. Though that wasn't too far into that fight. So it's 5 fights. So yeah, you got to give him credit. It's the most that any guy's ever fought in a year. But at the same time, you know that one of those fights isn't even a fight. I mean, it ended 2 minutes in with him throwing an illegal knee.
Yes, true.
I don't believe this is main event. I believe I read Zabit is fighting Qatar as the main event. I don't know if it's 5 round, but that's gonna be the main event. I'm pretty
If it's
sure.
the main event, it has to be 5 rounds.
Well, it's kind of last notice. Well, actually, no, it's not even next
Zabit
week.
and Calvin Qatar aren't
18
last
days.
notice. Yeah, you got 2 weeks.
So 2 weeks. Yeah, that's probably still gonna be 5 rounds. But I don't think Hardy and
2 p.m.
Hardy is fighting
Alexander Volkov.
Volkov. I forgot his name. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a 3-round fight. But this is actually gonna be the first time
I'll
Hardy's.
look it up right now.
This is gonna be the first time Hardy's actually fought a guy who's ranked in the UFC, or at least previously ranked in the UFC. I don't know if
He is.
Volkov
He's like
is.
7.
He's 7. He
Yeah.
hasn't won a fight in over a year.
Not a lot of heavyweights.
This is true.
You are correct. We were wrong. Volkov and Hardy is a co-main event, and Zabit and Calvin
Qatar is the new main
Kattar.
event.
I think it's Calvin Kattar, by the way.
Sorry.
It's okay. You're good. I was always saying Qatar, but I
like
remember
that guy.
last time
He's
he fought, they were saying Kattar.
Okay.
So I think it's Calvin Kattar. I like Qatar better, actually. Fuck it. Dude, his name's
Sounds
Qatar.
better,
We're saying
sure.
Qatar.
Qatar hero.
Qatar.
Qatar
These
hero.
grandpa's guitars.
He's cool.
I mean, your heavyweight
Apocalypse.
division after. I mean, you got Walt Harris down there at 10, but after. There's not much.
Let's talk about Chris Weidman getting knocked out.
Oof.
Yeah. So did we all have Reyes going into that fight?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I
So
did.
we all had Reyes. I don't know how we thought he was gonna win.
It was going to be a knockout. The reach advantage was going to be insane.
I definitely didn't say it on the podcast, but during the walkouts, I was sitting there with another buddy of mine, and I looked over and I said, okay, Dominic Reyes is going to knock out Chris Weidman in the first round. He's going to, his chin's just not going to be there. And that's exactly what happened. His chin wasn't there. I don't think he looked that great at lightweight or light heavyweight.
Middleweight's moving up. Not working out well.
It's the biggest jump, isn't it? From 185 to 205. That's 20. That's 20 pounds. That's the biggest difference, I believe, in all of the divisions.
And especially if you're not already a tall guy fighting at middleweight, that's just so tough.
Yeah.
Because you know you're immediately going to go from having an either equal or greater reach advantage to almost certainly having a reach disadvantage when you move up 20 pounds.
And Reyes, pretty sure he had a good reach advantage over Weidman.
And a lot of times having naturally stronger guys at that light heavyweight.
So, special guest.
Yeah, right.
So, Weidman got dropped with a straight left.
Yep.
And then I believe Hammerfist actually put him not completely out, but he was out.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Reyes looks good though. He looked really good.
He did, and he didn't take any damage.
No.
So
No, almost none.
Luckily, he didn't do any Johnny Walker type shit where he hurts himself during the post-fight celebration and everything. So that was really dumb of Walker.
And you knew he was going to call out John Jones. You knew it.
Yeah. Well, Reyes was ranked number 4, wasn't he?
Yep.
Ranked number 4.
Well, that's what they have him at right now. I don't know if anything's changed since last weekend.
See, I don't know if he gains anything from beating Weidman.
Probably not really, because, I mean, you've got the 3 people in front of him are Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, and Daniel Cormier.
3 guys that have already lost to John Jones, so you might as well put him in against John Jones.
Yep. Because below that, you got Jan and Alexander Gustafsson.
And Gustafsson's not going anywhere.
Retired.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, Reyes is going to be in the same boat as...
twice anyway.
Yeah, Blachowicz is going to be in the same boat as Reyes, fighting a middleweight who's not ranked at light heavyweight. So,
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. That's what Blachowicz just did, right?
Yeah. He just knocked out Rockhold, and now he's fighting...
Yes. Yep.
And now he's fighting Yoel, I believe.
Yes, you're right. That'll be fun, too.
That's going to be a cool fight. But, like, what does he gain from it?
Not much.
As far as light heavyweight rankings go, I don't think he gains that much.
Probably nothing. No, there's not much there. I mean, Johnny Walker's fighting in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. At Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
Yep. He's fighting Corey Anderson.
Okay, yes.
Who's also another top 10 guy.
Number 7.
So light heavyweight actually has some decent fights right around this time of year. We've had some decent light heavyweight fights. We're going into some good light heavyweight fights. At least all the top 10 guys, I believe, are all fighting. And we're getting all this fresh blood coming in.
Which the light heavyweight division needs, too, just because you've seen John Jones just sit there at the top for so long.
Right. Now, I just read something today that Jones actually says that he's getting kind of tired and he doesn't really have that much motivation for these fighters. He didn't really have any motivation for the last 2 guys he's fought, Santos and Smith.
I mean, he said straight up with Santos that he purposefully wasn't going to take him down because he wanted to challenge himself. So you knew that you don't want to say fucking around, but he wants a challenge. So he's saying, I'm going to go out there, and until I'm forced to do something, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want.
According to him, he says he's not getting excited for fights.
I honestly can't blame him too much because you kind of you see that in other stuff all the time where like teams or guys get so dominant that it just becomes not, you don't want to say not fun, but the grind leading up to the fight, if you know that you're going to win the fight and win it fairly easily, probably isn't a whole lot of fun.
Well, I feel like that's where the challenge thing comes in because he's saying, okay, well, I want a challenge. I'm going to purposely put myself not at a disadvantage, but take away the advantage that he would have.
He's back.
Welcome back.
Sorry, gentlemen. My child
All good.
Woke up, and she was just coming in the door, so I had to get up.
She want to be on the podcast?
I have no idea what she was trying to tell me. She was making no sense. She's almost 7, by the way, so like she like couldn't tell me what was wrong. She was
I thought she was 4.
She was like talking like this and just kept like touching her face in her head, and I think she was sleepwalking.
Oh,
I don't
could
know
be.
what she was doing. She was like I kept saying what's wrong, and she just was making no sense. I was just like, go back to bed, and she did. So
give her some hot sauce, and she'll be fine.
So that's that. Okay. Cool.
So we were basically just talking about just light heavyweight.
Light heavyweights.
Light heavyweights.
Yeah. John Jones getting bored with fighting all these dudes that don't challenge him, so he goes.
Dominic Reyes is going to beat John Jones.
Nope. John Jones fan sitting here. No.
Dominic Reyes.
I don't know. Can he wrestle?
He can.
Can he?
Pretty good wrestling defense.
As good as John Jones.
Probably not.
That's the key, because that's kind of what we were just saying.
He's very strong, very long. He's bigger than Thiago Santos.
I was just gonna say so is Thiago.
Can't really necessarily say he's a better striker because Thiago was like a championship. Was it kickboxer? Kickboxing?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Muay Thai? Kickboxing?
I think it was Muay Thai. Was it? Oh. Yeah, whatever.
That was pretty good.
We do a podcast.
Yeah.
It's live.
Regardless, so Thiago's one or the other. Like,
Yes.
That's his background.
A good striker.
He's a
good,
striking
long,
background,
powerful
a championship striker for his background. But Dominic Reyes is definitely bigger and longer.
Well, and you definitely saw John Jones get his chin tested for once.
Definitely.
Last fight. So it's not like you think
and
that...
let's not forget, Thiago Santos blew his knee apart in the first round.
Yeah.
And still ended up going 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Granted, Jones decided by choice not to try to take him
That's
down.
what we were saying, too.
Okay, cool.
Just that, you know, it seems like you don't... That's what I was saying. You don't want to say he's getting bored, but feels like maybe he's getting a little bored.
He's choosing to not take a guy down just to challenge himself.
Exactly. And,
That would be the epitome of, like, a bored champion who just believes and knows he's going to win no matter what.
The MMA math never works, but if we put it into context here, Uzdemir and Reyes, I believe that was actually Reyes' last fight before Weidman, and it was a split decision win for Reyes, which a lot of people gave it to Uzdemir. I can't remember exactly how that fight went, but Jones had no problem with Uzdemir. So if Jones had no problem with Uzdemir, and Uzdemir and Reyes are kind of, split decision over here, the MMA math never works. But according to MMA math, Jones should have no problem with Reyes. According to that, I don't know.
MMA math is broken.
Oh, it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on.
You guys talk about my girl, Macy Barber yet?
Oh, we stayed right on light heavyweight for you.
Yeah, no, we didn't really go anywhere.
Macy Barber.
I talked a lot though, so if anyone knows,
good.
Yeah.
She looked great.
Oh, yeah, she looked
standing TKO
Mm-hmm.
over her opponent. Give me her name.
it
Give me her
Jillian
name,
Anderson?
give me her name.
Yes, redhead. Yep. Or Jillian
Redhead. Jillian
Robertson.
Robertson. I was saying Anderson's not right. I know that. Robertson, who was on a bit of a roll up to this fight. She was
I like
looking
how you
good.
call her a redhead.
She was a redhead.
Macy Barber. And then
Yeah,
she,
right.
You know me with the redheads.
Damn it.
Are you a fan of the redheads, bro?
Oh.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. All right, so I am far from any type of fighter. I've never trained or anything like that, but when I was watching that
You can
fight,
tell.
pretty obvious. Pretty obvious.
Dick.
Yeah.
So I thought Barber's chin was pretty high during that fight. She was swinging hard, but her chin was
That's
up
confidence.
there. Yeah.
I'm going to say she had confidence in her power that her hitting
Robertson.
Robertson was going to deter her enough. The redhead.
Yeah.
Was going to deter her enough from being able to throw anything back at Macy. And she was just like, I'm just going to fucking hit you because I know you can't take it. And that's kind of exactly what happened. She wasn't able to take it. She threw some strikes back earlier in the round. She hit Macy a couple times. She caught her with some shots, not much behind them. And I think Macy is very used to sparring with guys. She trains with a lot of men. I think at the camp she's at right now, where she was just training with Ben Askren, she was the only female at the camp. So she's been sparring dudes this whole fight camp. So she's been getting hit probably much harder than almost any, not every girl, but almost any girl she's going to fight anytime soon is going to be hitting her. So she obviously knows she can take a shot. Dude, she looked great. And she calls out Paige Van Zandt.
Well, I want before we touch on the Paige Van Zandt thing, I
Yeah,
want to
sure.
back up a little bit. And
dude, whatever you want, fucking
we'll
go
go
for it.
to. So remember when we were saying Yair might have fought differently if it was a 5-round fight.
Yes.
So I want to put that into context with Macy. I wonder if she would have fought differently with a different opponent. Because if she does that, if she fights the way that she did against Valentina, the champion of that weight division, she is going to get sniped within seconds.
I feel like depending on it's like
It's
styles
confidence.
make fights. Fighters, who your opponent makes the type of approach you're gonna.
That scared the shit out of me.
Disrespect isn't the right word, but I feel like that's kind of what
You can't
that is.
That fell down.
Where
It's okay,
you
they
can't even see it. So
I don't care if I even can or not.
What a podcast.
it's not like super
I'm gonna need some more duct
disrespectful, but I
tape.
think that's kind of what it is. Where it's like you're
My
going in
heating
there,
duct.
and exactly what you're saying. She's constantly used to getting hit in the face by people that are bigger and stronger than she thinks Jillian Robertson is. And it's like, oh, I don't give a shit. I can hold my chin up high. I can swing. I can do all this shit because I know that anything coming back at me isn't going to knock me out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's, you just go
Nailed
in
it.
there and you think that I'm going to be able to end this before she'll ever be able to land anything that's going to end me. I know that for a fact.
right.
So it's confidence. It's
And it
something
worked.
where but you have to hope that she won't go into, like you're saying, she won't go into every single fight like that, which you think she'd be stupid to do. But
Yeah.
irrational
Well, that's what
confidence
I'm
does
getting
that
at,
every
too,
once
is
in a
like
while.
if she was fighting a Valentina Shevchenko, I don't
Especially
think
if
she
she
would
keeps
go
hanging
in
out with
saying like,
Askren.
"Oh, I'm just gonna go in here." Yeah, right. I don't think. I'm just gonna go into this fight, and I'm
like
just gonna
Askren.
swing, and if I take a shot, I take a shot. I'm just gonna move past it. I'm just gonna take the hit to give a hit.
Yep.
If she's fighting Shevchenko, I would
Nope.
imagine she knows.
Nope.
You can't just go
No, you can't
towards
take
her
that
like
hit.
that and take that hit against her
No.
because she will knock you the fuck out.
Right.
And I'm
I
not
think
saying
any fighter would, you're gonna adjust your style and your approach based on who you're fighting. I mean, she would be stupid, and her camp would be stupid, her coaches would be stupid to not adjust for that.
Does
you
she
know?
have Greg Hardy's coaches? Because they're pretty fucking stupid.
yes, they are.
Or are they smart?
No.
Well, they got him in no
they-
contest. so
No,
they're
they got him in no
stupid.
contest.
They got him
And
his
whoever
inhaler,
taught
but
him
they
to
got
knee
stupid.
people while
Yeah.
they were on the ground was not smart.
Yeah, that's true. Has he been in
You
the
just
same
have
camp
to know
since
the
they're-
rules.
I don't want to talk about that guy anymore. Regardless, anyway.
Fuck him.
So Macy Barber, then she called out Paige Van Zandt.
Yes. So let's
Paige
move
Van
into that.
Zandt.
Let's move into that one.
Van Zandt. She
Paige
wants to
Van
fight
Zandt
her.
posts
She thinks she's
and-
only famous because she's hot and she's on Instagram and she doesn't necessarily. What'd she say? She doesn't.
Macy said she was
belong
going
in
to
UFC?
end Paige Van Zandt's Instagram career.
Yeah.
Well, I want to point out that one of you guys, I believe it was Zach, last podcast called this Macy Barber beating Robertson real quick, not taking a lot of damage, and then calling out Paige Van Zandt and fighting her before the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Yes, you did say that.
Yes.
And now Paige Van Zandt says she'll fight literally anybody except Macy Barber.
Yeah.
Posted every single name in 2 divisions.
Bottom line,
not
do you think
named
they'll
Macy
fight?
Barber.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you think they'll fight?
Yes. Because now it's the only thing anybody's going to talk about.
I think Macy Barber ends up getting a fight with Antonina Shevchenko.
the little sister.
Yes. I feel like that's been the talk behind the scenes. She's calling out Paige Van Zandt. Paige Van Zandt's being kind of weird about it. I feel like Macy's going to be looking for a fight sooner than later. And the UFC is going to say, hey, Shevchenko, the champ's sister, somebody in Macy Barber who's trying to be the youngest champion in UFC history, which she has like 815 days to do it. John Jones would be the youngest, so at 815 days, she turns the age that John Jones was when he won the belt. And I feel like they'd be like, hey, here's a little, a little preview. Can you beat the champ's sister? There's a little something there.
There's
Not like drama necessarily, but it's, beat the champion's sister. Antonina, obviously, also, she's been looking good in the UFC. She's been in the UFC. She's been looking really good.
There's definitely some weight behind
That's a
that
good
one, having Shevchenko's sister fight, except I think it's actually a bigger step up than Paige, only because Paige has only fought at flyweight, I believe, once, whereas Shevchenko's sister, Antonia,
Antonina.
I believe
Who
she.
also, weirdly enough, goes by the name Pantera.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Just like Yair Rodriguez.
That's awesome.
Which is weird.
But she's already fought at flyweight at least 2, maybe even 3 times in the UFC. So she has more experience at flyweight and is probably ranked higher than Paige. I mean, yeah, it's
Antonina?
Paige is not ranked.
Yeah, she's not even ranked.
What's Antonina?
Ooh, there she is. She went from not ranked to 15th this week.
Cool.
Somehow.
What's Antonina?
13th, and she just moved up a spot. But Macy Barber is 10th.
She's 10.
Oh.
Yeah. Barber just breaks into the top 10 with this last win.
Yeah.
You know who I want to see her fight?
Okay. Macy or?
Macy.
Okay, sure.
Jessica Ai.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a big fight.
That
That's
would be
really shooting up there.
That's what I mean, though. There's not a ton of stuff going on.
I'd like to see it too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's not a lot going on.
sure, but I mean, you figure she's 21 years old. Do you push her to Jessica Ai already, or do you get her another fight?
If she wants to
Do
become
you give her
champ,
Antonina, and then if you beat Antonina or Paige Van Zandt, then you can get like a Jessica Ai.
The thing is if you're Macy Barber looking at this, you're going, no, I'm not fighting down. Screw that. I'm going for the champ. I don't want to fight somebody that's 3 or 4 spots behind me. I'm moving up.
That's true.
Don't give me people 3 spots behind
Especially
me.
when she just hit 10.
And
yet
the
she-
only
after
thing,
that last fight.
and the only reason she's calling out Paige Van Zandt is because that's a name.
popularity.
Yes,
Yeah.
because she's trying to get more
Definitely.
popular so that more people want to see her fight for a title.
Yeah.
But anybody else other than that, it's the
Yeah.
same thing as like,
I'd love to see her become the youngest champ. I just
oh, I think it'd be fun.
the Shevchenko fight's
yeah,
hard
no.
for anybody.
She's not going to. She's not being. She's not
anyone.
beating Shevchenko.
We've said this before. Shevchenko is the most unshakable champ in the UFC currently.
I agree. I will say though, Macy Barber,
Macy Barber's really good.
get undefeated, 8-0. Give her another 3 to 4 fights.
Before
then
the
give her a shot at the belt. Dude, 3 or 4 big fights, that's a lot of experience, especially if they go a round or 2 or 3.
And if she
And
fights,
she ages a little bit, then she's 22. Because she's 21 now. She's 22. Give another year of training. She's been training with Ben Askren. Up her wrestling. She already's got a lot of power. Keeps working on her striking. Like, she's at the age where she is only going to get better.
true, and I think she could
I think
actually.
she stands a chance in year and a half from now.
No,
4
but
more fights.
I think she has the opportunity to actually make it happen because I think like she could fight 3 or 4 times in 2020 and by the end of 2020 be in title contention. And
Yeah.
so it is possible, but she's
For
not beating
sure.
Shevchenko. No way.
I
No
don't
matter
know,
how much time I give her. She's cool. I love Macy. She's really cool.
I think she has the potential to do it. We'll just have to see how her next 2 to 4 fights goes.
I don't
and then
think
we'll
she'll
have
be-
a sure answer for
she's gonna have to shock
a
me.
more sure of an answer anyway.
She's gonna have to shock me.
I think it's getting warmer in here because of that.
well,
That's a heating vent.
it's
Yeah.
off now.
Yeah,
The heat's off now. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it was definitely heated up in here because
I can feel it.
I don't know how that just happened.
Yeah,
the
just
heat,
the heat
must
tape
have you know,
Just didn't hold.
it's all good.
Guys talking ducks. That's ducks with a CT.
Ducts.
Ducts. So Jessica Ai is a little bit older than I thought she was, honestly. I thought she was only about 30, and she's like 34.
Okay.
So
So
younger.
she's
than
a
I
little
thought.
bit older than I thought she was. She doesn't look that old.
I thought she was like 32, 33.
I
Whatever.
thought she was like 36.
Whatever.
Whatever.
I
Then
thought she was.
meet us in the middle of 34.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll do that.
Cool.
So if I were Macy Barber, the thing is that there's not. I mean, you got Liz Carmouche, but that's only a couple spots below Jessica Ai. There's not a ton of name power in that division. Not that there's in either women's division, but
No,
sorry.
there's. I mean, it's not that there's not though. Either.
Name power. I'm not saying
Sure.
people to fight that aren't going to be a
That's
good
what I'm throwing.
fight.
You throw out Paige Van
Just
Zandt and
name
Antonina
power.
Shevchenko, and they're not even in the top 10. Yet people are throwing out their names for Macy Barber to fight. Who's number 10?
Shevchenko only because her last name's Shevchenko.
Yes.
If it was Antonina, anything else, nobody would care. I
I
don't want to say nobody
definitely
would care,
her
but it
last
definitely
name
wouldn't be.
gives her.
Especially since she's the
little bit.
older sister.
Also, though, she's been looking pretty fucking good though.
Yeah, no, she looked good. I think she choked the girl out in her last one, if I'm
Think so.
Yeah.
correct.
Think she
So,
got
yeah,
a
no, she
submission
looks
win.
good.
I mean, she's looking good.
And if we're
She's
saying
performing
Macy
well.
Barber is training with Ben
On the
Askren,
side.
then you know she's not scared to go to the ground with anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
I think her background's actually in wrestling.
I think you're right. I'm pretty
So,
sure
yes.
you're right, actually.
It is.
So that'll be
Good shit.
fun.
Moving on.
That'll be fun.
All right, real quick, you want me to go over like some of the
Yeah.
non-really important
Just
stuff of the card?
everything. Whatever.
So,
real quick, and then we'll move on to
Molly
this
Meatball.
weekend.
Molly
Meatball
McCann.
She beat Deanna, whatever her name is,
Yep.
30-26.
Sorry,
Good,
Deanna.
good job.
You looked good.
Good job, Molly. Charles Rosa tapped out Manny Bermudez by an arm triangle that he worked literally 2 minutes on one submission and then finally got him.
That was crazy.
Which is really funny because the commentators were saying, oh, Manny Bermudez is really good on the ground.
He is.
And then he got caught in a submission that the guy was working 2 minutes on.
The guy, he was going for the guy.
Charles Rosa.
Charles Rosa was going for that shit. Everybody saw it the whole time they were on the ground. He kept going for that thing.
Big
and he
comeback.
eventually got it.
Big comeback for Charles Rosa. I believe that's his first fight in like 2 years.
Yeah.
I believe.
Good for him.
So, and I think he actually won a performance of the night for that. Only other one I'm going to touch on is Mini DC. People calling him the Mini DC because not only does he look like him, I think he trains with him. His name's either Darren or Deron Wynn. He lost by split decision to Darren Stewart. So, those are the only
Who's
other
was supposed to retire?
Joe Lozon.
Yes, Joe Lozon.
Lozon. Did we
That's
touch
the
on
one.
that yet?
That's the one that I want to touch on. Those were just like some simple little things.
Okay,
on
yeah,
the
Joe
card.
Lozon. Go ahead,
So
man.
last thing on the card was Joe Lozon. He was fighting. Well, Joe Lozon's actually from Boston. The card was in Boston, so it's like his hometown.
He got a good win
against Jonathan Pierce by TKO, round 1, 1 minute 33 in.
Yep, on the ground, the half Nelson, the ground and pound. It was a good fight for him to quote unquote go out on, but I guess he's possibly thinking of maybe this isn't going to be his last fight. And Dana White said in the post fight press conference that him and Lozon had an agreement that like win or lose, this is your last fight. Like either way, go out with a bang, but win or lose, this is it for
He
you.
has to fight in UFC.
Lozon looks really good. Oh yeah, last fight in the UFC anyway. You could go fight. You could go fight wherever. PFL, Bellator, whatever.
Or with the way
he
he looked, Dana goes, well, maybe if people want to see you, I'll give you another fight contract, 2-fight contract.
He looked so good.
He looked phenomenal.
Dominant. Like he grabbed the guy.
36 years old, so he's not like over the hill old by any means.
He's been fighting the UFC for, I believe,
Damian Maia, who is
lots
fighting
of
this
fights.
weekend, is 41 years old.
Yes. Thing with Lozon, he's got lots of fights, lots of wars.
Yeah. For his last couple fights, he's looked terrible.
He's taking damage.
He looked terrible in his last couple fights to the point where I'm like, why is this guy even fighting? Just retire. But this last fight, maybe it was because of the opponent. Maybe it was because of the motivation. Don't know. But he can't take anything away from him. He looked amazing in this last fight.
Yeah, definitely.
He had the killer instinct. He grabbed right on a hold of the guy.
Dude, that was a sick fucking finish.
He was
that was cool as fuck.
Even before the
I
finish.
have Nelson with the ground. The dude's shoulder was fucking
even before that.
jacked. Like,
as he was taking
brutal.
him down, he had him mounted, and Joe Lozon's literally standing over him in mount, and the guy's like kind of like leaning back, and then they both just went down right into the mount. And then that's when he got like that half Nelson, and the half Nelson was like, that one looked painful just on its own, and then he's getting punched in the face.
This was pretty awesome.
So
it was a great way to go out. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. So we'll see if he retires. We'll see if he makes an announcement, whether he makes it official or not. Whatever. We'll keep an eye on it. So that's it. It was a pretty good fight card this weekend.
It's the only thing I really have from that.
Not
card.
as many high-profile fights coming up this weekend for the UFC.
Like 2.
But yeah, there's a few good fights on this card. We'll just open it up with Ben Askren and Damian Maia.
A ground game.
Should be a ground game.
We'll see how long they stand up.
I think if it goes to the ground, it's because Ben shoots on Damian Maia, because Ben wants to fight on the ground more than Maia does. Because if they stay on the feet, Damian Maia's got a really good chance at winning this fight. I think he definitely has better striking than Ben does. I think
Ben does have a couple KOs.
I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying, like, if you just look at their striking, Damian Maia has stronger striking than Ben Askren does.
I mean, if you look at both of these guys' last previous fights, Damian Maia in his last 2 fights, or maybe just 1 fight, has landed 2 significant strikes in his last fight. Ben Askren in his last 2 fights has landed 0 significant strikes. So in the last...
While taking 2 very significant strikes.
Yes.
That uppercut from Robbie Lawler almost killed him.
And the ground and pound, too, man.
Well,
Oh,
you
and then
talking about the ground and pound with Robbie Lawler or the ground and pound with Jorge Masvidal?
Robbie Lawler, but there's also that
after
one.
his
the
his
angle
knee
slam.
separated him from consciousness.
Yes. He blessed him.
Super necessary.
Super necessary.
That shirt will be here next week. Don't worry.
Hell yeah.
So we got new booms, and we're gonna get a new shirt.
Yep, new shirt. next week.
We are getting the shirt.
So good. So good.
So excited.
So I take Damian Maia in this fight. I think he either knocks out or submits Ben Askren in round 2 or 3.
I think Ben's gonna get him.
Okay.
By how?
Decision.
I say the exact same thing as Zach. I believe that
I could see it going that way.
I think he's gonna
Let me
hold
just
him down.
Throw
and-
that out there.
Yeah, I mean,
Casual people will call this fight boring.
yes, for sure. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a ground game. It's
We're gonna love it. Other people will love it. Good amount of people are gonna probably hate it if it ends up going
Yes.
all 5 rounds.
Well, it's just like more than a couple years ago. It was John Fitch versus, I believe it was Damian Maia, and everyone's like, okay, Fitch is gonna take him down. Fitch is a wrestler. Maya's a jiu-jitsu guy. It's gonna get crazy when it goes to the ground, and it was so boring. And you're basically just taking Fitch out, a very boring fighter, and putting in Askren, who's not as boring, but has the same style of wrestling and ground and pound.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Askren's gonna hold him down, score some points for.
He's gonna
25
go
minutes.
for submissions though. I mean,
That's
it's
true.
not like Askren can't submit anybody.
Askren will definitely go for submissions. I just think Damian Maia's his jiu-jitsu is definitely on a higher level
Oh,
than
most
Ben
definitely.
Askren's, and then Ben Askren's wrestling is on a higher level than almost anyone else in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Like comparable to some,
Probably
better than everybody
Cormier
else.
and Habib.
But I feel like
Yeah, and then that dude who just won, he was an Olympic wrestler. He just won.
Henry Cejudo?
no,
Well, there's Cejudo's wrestling. There's that too, but no.
He's an Olympic
Who's
champion.
the guy that just? Not Morocco. Where the fuck was he from? The fuck's his name?
Oh, yeah, in Denmark. Yeah,
Denmark.
Martin Kampmann is his head coach.
Yeah.
Mark something or something. Mark.
I don't know. He looked good though. It was his UFC debut. I think
Yeah.
he was the co-main event maybe.
Nah,
The
he
fight
was,
before that?
on the main card.
It's on the main card. It was in his home country, his hometown.
It was Denmark. I'll look it up right
He
now.
was Olympic. It's not that important. But you can look it up.
I know
though.
who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
Ryan will get the name, so we
Yeah,
can just
I know who
keep
you're talking
going. But
about.
Ryan will get the name for us.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, arguably, one of the best wrestlers in the whole UFC.
I
in
think he's the
general.
most decorated
But,
collegiate
yeah.
wrestler in the UFC anyway.
He probably is.
You're right. Co-main event. His name is Mark Madsen.
Mark Madsen, yes.
But he's old, right? He's
different
like
weight class.
35.
He is older.
Yeah.
Completely different weight class.
35.
But
Boom.
nice, dude. Nailed it. Completely different weight class, but yes, obviously arguably probably also really up there. But like I'm saying,
Oh, yeah.
there's a few guys
Well,
that are comparable.
we
Other
just
than that,
said.
forget about it. But Damian Maia,
Askren's
man,
35.
he's got unbelievable amounts of experience.
Yep.
Extremely high jiu-jitsu
Fucking
and
moved
better
my
striking. I think he takes it. I think he takes the fight.
Ben, you've seen him do stuff on the ground. I mean, obviously the choke out of Robbie Lawler.
Yeah.
So it's not like he can't get guys into submission spots. And then I constantly see him training. And most of the time when you're on top, as soon as you get a guy to half guard, you can triangle choke anybody.
Sure.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he even went for that right away after a takedown. It's just say, fuck this, I'm going to try and end it.
Sure.
But as probably anybody watching this knows, BJJ guys, doesn't matter if they're on their back or not. They'll still finish you. So
Well, actually, I'm glad you brought that up. I think defending a choke or just staying away from a choke, you can do that for longer than actually getting the choke. So as far as jiu-jitsu goes, Ben Askren is going to be defending against submissions the whole fight, and Damian Maia is going to be throwing up offensive chokes or anything, locks.
chain submissions.
Yeah, chain submissions, and I believe Askren's going to spend the whole fight defending those, but still being on top. And the chances of
That makes sense.
the chances of
sure.
him being able to defend a submission is higher than the chances of Maia getting the submission
Finishing one, yeah.
or finishing one. Yes,
Yeah. So that's why you think it's going to go all the way 5 rounds. And
Yeah.
Askren will get a decision for defending 600 choke attempts throughout the course of 5 rounds.
I could see it going that way.
Yeah.
I could see it. I wouldn't
I think it'll be a lot of fun
argue
because
hard
I think
against it, but I'm just, there's enough there where I got to go Damian Maia on this one. So.
the way the young Jacek fight went, where I mean, you love it with the submission attempts where Waterson hopped on her back and almost got a couple, and you're sitting there going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and even the
Poirier Khabib.
That's exactly where I was gonna go.
There you go.
Even with that fight, was like, oh my god, holy shit, he might actually get him here.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I love the submission stuff.
Was it an arm
love
triangle?
Watching that.
Was it an arm triangle that
Guillotine.
Guillotine. That's
Poirier
what it
almost
was.
got him in a
Yes,
well.
that's what it was.
I say almost got him in a
Guillotine.
guillotine, and Khabib was like, nah. Nah.
He's like, I'll just move my hips this way. And
I
that
just
way, and
flex
that way,
my
and then
neck.
I'll loosen up a little bit, and then here we go, and then I'm going to choke you out.
I just flex my neck.
Flex
and your
my
arm
neck.
is not
I move
stronger
hips,
than my
slide
neck.
side to side, and then I get out of, and then I choke you out.
I swim in freezing cold river with bears.
Legit, though.
I swim
It
up current
really
like a
does.
salmon.
He really does.
I'm trying to think of any other fights on the card.
Beneil Dariush.
I'm excited to see Michael Johnson return to lightweight in the co-main event. He's
Versus Stevie Ray.
Stevie
Yes.
Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
maybe. Don't know anything about Stevie Ray, but I'm a Michael Johnson fan, so I'm going to be rooting for him. He knocked out Poirier. For some reason in my mind, that was just like a year ago. But it wasn't. It was more than a year ago.
It was a while ago, but
But it was...
wasn't super long ago.
No, it was when Poirier first got to lightweight from jumping up from featherweight. And that just sticks in my mind of Johnson knocking out Poirier.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I didn't
Johnson does have a 3.5-inch reach.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even ranked at lightweight, though.
He was when he went down to featherweight.
Did he?
This is his return to lightweight.
He's 19-14. He's all over the place.
Yeah, it sucks, too.
A little bit like Uriah Hall.
Yeah.
And Stevie Ray 22-9.
Yeah.
So if you just look at records, you could be like, oh, Stevie Ray's. But then, if you know a little bit about Michael Johnson, like he's the possibility is always there for him to get that knockout. He's a really talented fighter. Just doesn't always work out in his favor for one reason or the other.
And if I knew more about Stevie Ray...
Better fighter than his... Sorry, not to cut you off. I would say just... My final thought on this is Michael Johnson being a better fighter than his record entails that he is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Go ahead, man.
I mean, if I knew more about Stevie Ray, I could make a prediction on this. I'm going to take Michael Johnson. I could be completely wrong because I don't know Stevie Ray.
I just looked. You did.
Yeah, if you look back at Stevie Ray, his last fight he lost to Leonardo Santos.
Okay.
In June of this year, knocked out the first round, or TKO. He beat Jason Ayari.
Don't know him either.
Who?
And then also last year, he lost the decision to Cajun Johnson.
Think I kind of heard of him, maybe. I don't know. Moving on.
He lost to Paul Felder.
Yeah, I've heard of
TKO
him.
round 1. That was July of 2017. So we're going back a little bit.
That wasn't that long ago, though.
He beat Joe Lozon via decision. That was in April 2017. He's got a lot of fights.
All right, so now I'm definitely taking Michael
He beat
Johnson.
Ross Pearson.
Yeah, right.
He lost to Alan Patrick.
All right, we're going way too far back.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
We're done. We're good. We're good. We're
Johnson.
good.
Help!
Okay. So, you mentioned Beneil Dariush.
Yep.
He is also fighting on the card.
Yep.
He's
Yeah,
fighting
they are
Frank
the-
Camacho.
They are the third from last fight. The co-main event, is what
Coco.
they call it.
Coco.
The Coco fight.
The chocolate main event.
I was going to go with the John Jones.
Yeah,
but-
Frank Camacho. I like Camacho.
Main event.
I like Camacho. I like Dariush as well. That's a fun fight.
I just like saying his name, Beneil Dariush.
Dariush.
Mm-hmm.
Beneil Dariush.
And then we actually have 3 heavyweight fights on this card.
Crazy.
Don't know any of them, but there's 3. Oh, actually,
One of them's ranked.
yeah, one of them is actually Maurice Green.
Yeah, we know
One of
Maurice
them's-
Green. He was
one of
just
them's-
on the Ultimate Fighter.
One of them's
Heavyweights.
ranked, and it's
He
like
looks pretty good. I think he won the Ultimate Fighter, correct?
He did at
He's
heavyweight.
had, I believe, he has had a fight since then, right?
He has, yeah.
Did
yeah.
he
The
win
only
that fight?
ranked
Yes.
fight for those heavyweights is in the prelims.
Interesting, isn't it?
It's really
Maybe
weird.
the other 2 guys, they might be from that country, perhaps.
He's actually 3. He
might
beat.
be right.
He beat
They
the
like
baby.
to put guys from the country or at least close to it on the main card, even if they're not ranked.
Well, Maurice Green,
Like to
he's
do
actually
that.
3-0 in the UFC, and his last fight he actually beat Junior Albini, the baby.
Oh, Baby Albini, yeah.
Yeah,
Dude.
so he actually has 3-0. That's not too bad.
I give it to
I mean,
Pavlovich.
3-0.
I don't know
Not too bad.
any of the other 3 or any of the other 5 heavyweights on that card. So that's pretty much it. Oh, Randa Marcos is fighting Ashley Yoder.
Yoder.
Oh,
You were
return.
saying you liked Yoder, right?
I'm actually taking Marcos on that one.
Okay, Ronda Marcos.
Yeah. And then
Randa.
Alexander Albu. The return of Alexander Albu. I've been a fan of her ever since her first fight because she's hot. And that's about it for the whole card as far as I go. You guys want to put anything in there? Yeah?
No, man.
No?
No. Yeah, good job. That's the card.
Random shit?
Random shit.
Random shit time.
Random shit.
Actually, we can go into Bellator real quick.
Do it.
We can go into Bellator really quick here. We got
Because we don't got a
McDonald versus Lima
Mm-hmm.
It's a rematch.
2.
Is this the fight where Rory got his legs kicked out?
Yes.
So it's this guy. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe Rory won that
day
fight.
after another fight, right?
What's
They
up?
have back-to-back fights. Bellator does.
Yep, they got 2 cards. 2 cards this weekend.
Friday night's another big one too, right?
Yep, Friday night. So you got McDonald and Lima, and then you
okay.
have
And Saturday nights,
Frank Mir versus
Mir
Roy
and,
Nelson.
big country.
That's on the 25th. So it's actually the 25th
Oh,
is Frank Mir and Nelson.
Oh.
Roy
okay.
Nelson,
So
and you
yeah,
got Rory
they're on
McDonald.
Friday, and then Rory and
Lima.
are on Saturday.
Both main events are rematches.
Yep.
There's
Even
some cool
though
fucking fights.
what did I read? Frank Mir and Roy Nelson was 8 years ago.
It was a while ago.
8 years ago.
8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bellator has so many older fighters on
Oh,
their,
yeah.
on their roster. They got a lot
Everybody
of older fighters.
from the very first UFC game now fights in Bellator.
And I don't mean that in the bad way, by the way. Just let me throw that out there. Do they have older fighters? I don't mean that in a bad way.
Fuck them.
That's true.
Lots of old fighters, they're all washed up. It's not what I'm saying. Just saying,
Experienced.
a lot of guys, they kind of gain a career somewhere or whatever, and then they leave, and a lot of people tend to go to Bellator later in their career, which is interesting.
It's the retirement
Right,
home.
though?
It's the retirement home of MMA.
See, that sounds
Sorry,
like you're saying it
Bellator.
that way. Well, it's not necessarily, but
Sponsor us, please.
at the same time, though,
It's true.
It's true, but I wouldn't go that far.
When
but
you have Hoist Gracie fighting Ken Shamrock, you are the retirement home of MMA.
That was the first fight ever in UFC.
how fucking old is Roy Nelson, for fuck's sake?
He's in his 40s, I think.
It's gotta be.
62.
Yeah, Bellator's got a lot of older fighters, but they're put on. It's a big fucking fights, man.
Yeah, they do.
It's some good fights. You just had what's his name just retired from Bellator.
Yeah, Kimbo Slice fought.
Kimbo Slice has been dead for 6 years.
No longer
That was a big
alive.
fight.
Rest in peace, Kimbo Slice.
Yeah.
He was cool.
He
Chael
was cool.
Sonnen. Chael Sonnen.
Oh,
Oh,
Chael.
yeah.
Yeah. We're all like, oh, yeah. Tito
forgot about
Ortiz.
that guy.
Fedor Emelianenko.
Tito Ortiz. Oh, yeah.
Tito Ortiz. Yeah, they got a lot of older fighters. It's interesting.
Hey, they got Ryan Bader, who's actually pretty good.
Ryan Bader, you motherfuckers, is
But-
goddamn good.
But that
Julia
just
Budd.
that just shows
For
how.
Cyborg, there's another one.
Yeah.
For Cyborg, she's not fucking young.
But
She's still
Bader,
amazingly good though.
but Bader being their heavyweight champ and their light heavyweight champ, Bader's not a heavyweight. So the fact that you have a good light heavyweight as your heavyweight champ shows how not good
True that.
Yeah.
your heavyweight.
Predictions here: Frank Mir, Roy Nelson.
Frank Mir.
I don't care, but Nelson. We'll go with Nelson.
Frank
Nelson?
Mir.
Oh, you know what? No, we'll go with Mir because Mir didn't look that bad against Fedor.
I'm going Frank Mir as well. I'll take Mir over Nelson on that one.
I bet against Frank Mir one time in my entire life, and it was the first time Brock Lesnar fought. You see by the giggles. What?
Yeah, right.
If you don't know what happened, go
And then
look
also
it
we'll
up.
go to the next day, October 26th, the main event: McDonald versus Lima.
Give me Rory.
Rory McDonald.
Give me Rory.
I'm actually going Lima because Rory just
I'm with
hasn't.
Ryan on this. I'm going Lima.
Rory hasn't looked motivated or good in his last 2 years.
Douglas Lima
Give me that.
all day. Paul
Give me that.
Daly's fighting on that card as well.
Who?
Semtex.
Paul Daly.
Do we know who he's fighting?
John Daly?
He's fighting the Saadawad.
Oh, Sayadawad.
Sayadawad, yeah.
Yeah, Daly should take that one. But hey, you never know.
That's true. Nick Newell also fighting on that card, the 26th.
Yep. And out of no disrespect,
He's
but
fighting Manny Murrow.
I know him as just the one-armed fighter. No disrespect to him.
Yep, he is the one-armed fighter.
and
He also is 16-2.
Very good. Very
Nick
good
Newell.
record. He was actually on, I believe, the Contender Series for UFC and lost. So he could have been in the UFC. He didn't make it, though.
Everybody loses a fight here and there, you know.
Yeah,
If he
definitely.
could have won that fight, it could have been a different trajectory for him in his career. But he's doing good with Bellator. He's got a recognizable name, and he's a good fucking fighter.
Yeah, he's got a fan base for sure.
Yeah, definitely. You can't not root for a guy who has one fucking arm.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So I'm gonna say the other guy fucking wins that fight. No, I'm just kidding.
16 other guys thought they were going to win that fight.
Yeah, right. 16 fucking two, right? So
16 other guys went in there and were like, what the fuck am I supposed to do against this guy? I got
Manny
two arms. He's
Moreau
only
is
got
fighting
one.
is 10-6. So I'm gonna go with Nick Newell. Actually, I'm gonna take Nick Newell.
The cool thing is he actually has submission wins. So because
That's awesome.
what he does is he does have an arm. It stops at, I believe, the elbow or just past the elbow.
Not,
so
not
he
a full arm, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
So he can.
It's not nothing.
Yeah, it's definitely something that he can choke them out with because he's choked
He's
them
got
out.
a
That's
nub.
awesome.
He's got a nub. He's
That
got
is
a beautiful nub.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he can choke people out
A
with that.
deadly nub.
I was going to say one arm is just a bat.
I don't know if he jabs with it, but I don't know. I've never really watched him.
That's so mean.
Never
It's
watched
not me. It's a legitimate question. Can he jab with his nub?
So welcome to the last episode of GTF. Unfortunately, we've been kicked off YouTube.
Not enough people watch this for us to get kicked
Yeah,
off.
right.
Hey, there
we
are
can say whatever we want.
there are hundreds, thousands, maybe even tens of views right now.
This will be the one that gets people to watch it. It'll be the one that gets us kicked off.
Probably. It's okay because I'll be taking a shot of hot sauce later in the show.
All right.
Pretty soon, actually, because we're already at hour one.
All right, let's
Random shit.
Random shit.
Random shit.
Last week we talked about Colby Covington saying that when he wins, Dana's gonna wrap the belt around his waist, and if he does that, he's gonna slap him in the face with it. Dana came back, responded to Colby, quote, "Big mouthed fucking idiot."
Agreed.
I was very happy with that. That Dana came out and said that too.
That was me and
because
Ryan
it's just
high-fiving, by the way. Nobody didn't see it.
I hate Colby Covington.
Yeah, you
I
do.
don't necessarily like Dana White all that much most of the time.
Dana doesn't bother me.
I'll take
Dana's
Dana's side.
Dana's
Me
Dana,
too.
dude.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's some stuff with
Yeah.
Dana that just kind of makes you go, come on, man.
Oh, for sure, dude.
But yeah, no, definitely.
he's kind of a tool.
you
but
go,
whatever.
You go, no, Colby, come on, man.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to think about it that way, but that's kind of your boss. Can't go around telling him you're going to slap him in the face, otherwise you know he can stop writing your paychecks.
That's true.
I don't know how true this is because I saw it on Mike Perry's Instagram story, but he posted a fight poster
Oh, Robbie Lawler.
December 14th.
Yes. I
If
like
they
that
added
fight,
that
dude.
to that card
Mike
too,
Perry and Robbie Lawler.
holy fuck.
That's a cool fight. I like it.
Holy fuck. You want to talk about two dudes, again, that are just going to stand there and hit each other until one dies.
It's going to be like a literal a repeat of
It's a
Mike,
bloodbath.
Basically a repeat of every one of Mike Perry's fights. It's gonna
Mike
be just
Perry
a
only fights
fucking
one way, and it's disgustingly
awesome
bloody.
Fight, but when you throw him again,
It is.
unless
It's
Robbie
fucking
Lawler
awesome.
decides to do what he did against Colby Covington and just like bob and weave for 4.5 rounds.
That was tough. That was a weird
I think
fight.
Robbie Lawler was expecting Colby to run out of gas, and he just didn't.
I think he was expecting him to wrestle.
And he didn't.
No. I think that's what he was expecting.
Over 500 strikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, Lawler usually doesn't have boring fights, so let's just get that one out of his system, and we know that the next like
I
five
wouldn't
fights
even say
hopefully
that
will
fight
not
was
be-
boring.
It was boring. I hated it.
You hated it?
I hated it.
I
wouldn't
kind
call
of
it
did
boring.
too.
I wouldn't call it boring, but I would say the whole time I was like, Robbie, okay,
Wake
Do
up.
now is the time.
something.
Wake up.
Now is the time.
Yeah, it was.
Come on. Oh, he's gonna pull the trigger. I'm just.
No, it
I
didn't
know he's
look
gonna
like
do
he
it.
was there.
Oh, he threw a couple. Okay, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Okay, I guess he's done throwing
No.
strikes for a little while here. Come on, Robbie.
Didn't look like he was there.
Yeah.
Current middleweight champ Israel Adesanya, training with a couple of heavyweight guys. I know he's not moving up anytime
Actually,
soon.
Before we move on, I need to say something
Yeah,
before I'm gonna regret it. We just said that about Robbie Lawler, although it's easier, way 1,000,000,000% easier said than done. When you're actually in there with a guy throwing over 500
I
strikes
said that
against
last
you.
fight when we were talking about.
Just wanted to throw that out there. I'm not trying to criticize Robbie Lawler. Just saying I think he had a game plan in his head. It didn't work out the way he wanted it to. Maybe he did want to start pulling the trigger earlier and make that adjustment in the third or fourth round.
Holy shit.
But just possibly just wasn't able to do it because fucking Colby Covington was in his face the entire time.
300 strikes.
Yeah,
on him
I
at
give
that
Covington
point.
credit, man. He puts that pressure on. Arguably one of the best pressure type fighters as far as like volume and pressure goes in the entire UFC. You can't use. It's hard to argue it. It's hard to argue it.
And the three of us love.
I think
Robbie
he just set a
Lawler.
record.
Yeah,
Yeah, we love Robbie Lawler. I'm just saying I give Colby the credit. I'm not saying Lawler lost the fight as much as Colby fucking won that fight.
Oh yeah, Colby won the fight.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there so we can move on. I had to say that it was gonna bug me.
No, but I mean, I said the same thing last fight when I was sitting there going, Watterson, why the hell aren't you throwing? She threw the same 2 kicks, and it was like, okay,
She
switch
that front
feet.
kick and missed every single time.
Like, you can do the same kick, do it with the other foot. Maybe she won't see it coming one time.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I get you. So we said Izzy. He's not moving up anytime soon, though. It's just cool to see him working out with bigger guys to. Hopefully that he's improving his wrestling against the bigger guys because that's the only way he's going to take out John Jones.
Jose Aldo.
Yep, that was my next one.
Apparently
Bantamweight.
going down to 135 pounds.
They already have the fight poster out for him and Marlon Moraes.
Fighting, yeah.
Dude, another December 14th. That
Marlon
card is
Moraes
fucking
is
ridiculous.
Killer.
Yeah,
At that weight class.
yeah.
Aldo going down to 145, dude.
135.
From 145 to 135.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a cut. Aldo's not a little guy.
It's okay because
He's
it's
not short.
No, he's
not
buff.
He's jacked at
Yeah.
145.
It's okay
I'm not
because
saying he can't make it, but
I'm saying
Christ.
he can't make it.
You don't think he's going to make the weight?
There's not a chance in hell he's going to make
catch weight at 140.
So what do you think?
Not
do
even.
you think they're going to end up calling off the fight, or do
Absolutely.
you think they're going?
It's going to be a catch weight fight at 145 pounds because that's as low as Aldo has ever been able to get. He literally passes out.
I'd like to
on
see
the
Moraes
scale.
at 145. Actually,
Yeah, well, he'll be a little smaller, but
yeah, kinda.
at 145, whenever
Moraes is also chiseled. He could easily go up 10 pounds.
Yeah.
No problem.
when Aldo fights at 145, he looks terrible on the scales. He literally sometimes has to be carried off of stage, weighing in at 145, and now he's going to cut another 10 pounds. He's not going to. He's not going to.
It's interesting that you see a lot of guys moving up, and now you see Aldo trying to move down.
Not going to happen. He's not going to go. He's not going to ever fight at bantamweight. He's going to try. They're going to schedule the fight at bantamweight, and the fight's going to be held at 143 pounds. Maybe that's the lower he can go.
Fuck, are they gonna put these people?
But there's no way in hell he's going to go all the way down. But if he could, hell, I mean, Moraes just fought for the title. He's automatically in the top 4, 5.
And he looked good too.
Yeah, he looked great.
Cejudo just did what
Rory
Cejudo
McDonald
does.
says he's being underestimated. Just so you guys know.
Okay, sure.
Was he watching?
Yeah, he just tweeted at me.
Was he watching?
I didn't realize
watching
Jessica I was fighting on that card.
Was he
too,
watching the
so
show
she
that
won't
we
be
don't
fighting
show?
her.
Oh, so everything you said about Jessica I fighting Macy Barbers can't happen.
No.
Who's Jessica I fighting?
Arejo.
Okay,
Don't know who that is.
cool.
Another top 7.
Oh.
Top 5.
Jeez, my lack of knowledge there.
Well, that's what we were talking about. It's
the
not
125
name.
pound division
It's
is
not
very deep.
name recognition. It's the.
Well, as far as names,
That's
you're
all
right,
it is,
though. As
name
far as talent
recognition.
goes, it's there.
Yeah,
but,
no, it's
you know.
not like I don't think that this girl can.
Like
beat
if you look at
Jessica Ai.
115 and 135,
Yeah.
So another fight that might have
the
been
champ at
announced,
125.
kind of like the Perry Lawler fight that they kind of hinted at, was Cerrone and Pettis at
don't even have
lightweight, or maybe it's at welterweight. Now that I think about it,
170.
yeah, because they're
I saw that fight posted, and every comment was 170 or 155.
Yeah,
because that matters. If they
yeah.
fight at 155, I'd take Cerrone.
Well,
if they fight at 170, I'd take Pettis.
well, when they fought at lightweight, I think it was 6 years ago. They already fought. Pettis beat Cerrone by body shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that same technique would work at 170 for Pettis. The only reason I question 170 or 155 is because Pettis recently has been fighting at 170. Cerrone was at 155, went up to 170, and has recently gone back down to 155. Maybe he'll jump in
He
between.
looked pretty good at 155 until he fought two title contenders.
Tony Ferguson and
Exactly.
Justin Gaethje.
Exactly. Two guys that are the consensus next two guys
Cerrone's
to fight
on
for the title.
a two-fight slide, but he's fought.
Yeah.
It's two guys that are fighting for the title.
One guy who's about to fight for the title should be about to fight for the title, and the other guy is either going to get like Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, or the winner of Tony and Khabib, assuming they're going to fucking fight.
He's gonna get Khabib, because I don't
You think so?
I don't think Tony's gonna happen.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Wait.
Khabib's people are like, no, fuck that guy. So they don't like him.
Fuck
Doesn't
Khabib's
matter
people,
what
though.
Khabib's people says.
Yeah, it doesn't
Khabib says Tony gets the next shot. Tony deserves the title shot. He said it multiple different times in many different interviews and podcasts that he's done.
All I keep hearing is, he bitches out every single time that we make the fight with him. So why should we keep making the fight with him?
Not every time Khabib pulled out because of tiramisu.
Just saying.
So.
Just saying.
What else you got?
Petr Yan and Uriah Faber.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a cool one. Yeah, that's
Same thing, December 14th. Holy fuck, that card's ridiculous.
That is, first of all, Petr Yan really proving himself his last couple of fights. He's a fucking beast.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, as good as he looks, that's a really
Uriah
tough
Faber,
fight, dude.
Uriah Faber looked really, really good. In his
Uriah
last fight.
Faber. Holy shit. You're going to Petr Yan and Uriah Faber. If Petr Yan beats Uriah Faber, man, he's pretty much proven himself in this weight
Title
class. And he needs to get someone in like the top 5, top 3.
Pretty sure he's already in the
fight.
top 5, isn't he?
Is he? Is Petr Yan ranked that
Petr
high?
Yan is number 4.
Number 4, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was ranked that high.
Oh, yeah. So I feel like if
bad.
if Faber
Uriah
can-
Faber's 14. That seems really
Well, yeah, it's
low.
because he hasn't fought, and he said one fight in, 4 years?
Yeah.
3.5 years? 4 years? He won the fight, but still.
What do we got?
What?
I'm just looking at the rankings there.
Go ahead,
Who's right
dude.
above him is my boy, Corey Sandhagen.
At what, number 3?
Yeah.
Nice.
Trying to think of any other fights that have been
I do like
announced.
Sandhagen as well. I'm with you.
Any other fights
fun to watch.
that have been announced?
Recently,
Conor McGregor said that he has got a fight coming up very soon that should be announced, but he kind of always says that type of shit, so I don't know how to feel about it. I basically feel very like, yeah.
The last thing I saw,
I'll give a fuck when we actually see something official.
Yeah, the last report I saw was that he's been pushing the UFC for a fight. The UFC isn't giving him a fight. So he says that he's going to do some sort of charity match at some point.
Here's the thing.
Before the end of the year.
Why the fuck would the UFC not offer Conor McGregor a match?
He keeps saying that it's because they don't want to... They think that he needs more money. They're thinking that he's going to hold out because of money, and he's saying, I'll fight my next fight for free. I don't care. I want to fight.
He wants to fight
Do you think
Frankie.
he would actually fight for free?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
I mean, he's
say no.
He's at a point where he made $100 million off of one fight only like 4 years ago. And now he has a very successful company that he is making money off of. So he may not need the money as much as a lot of these other UFC fighters need the money.
He probably doesn't need the money.
Well, the way I see it, I don't think he's making most of his money
I
out
don't
of the
think
UFC.
anyone fights for free,
No.
dude. That's what I'm saying. I don't see anyone
but that's the
fighting
thing.
for free.
It's not fighting for free if you're saying, I'm just going to donate my stuff to charity. That's a big boost to yourself because, you know what? He doesn't have a whole lot of positive PR lately. He punched an old guy in the head, and he's got 2 sexual assault charges against him in the last year.
Yes,
Well,
he does.
So the way I see it,
But John Jones just got one and got off, so.
the way I see it is,
Yeah, he did. Huh?
No contest.
Yeah, what's up with that?
The girl stopped cooperating.
Yeah,
so the way I see it
probably 'cause
is,
she was trying to get famous.
so the way I see it is,
I don't know for sure. Just saying, maybe.
Yeah.
So the way I see it is, McGregor, when he fights, he's gonna make money, right? But he's not gonna.
Yes, definitely.
But all of his money doesn't come from his salary from the UFC.
No.
He's got other sponsors like outside of the UFC.
Well, wait. Doesn't Proper 1? Doesn't
Proper
he?
12.
Proper 12.
Proper 12
Come on, man.
isn't. Yeah, no. Fucking. I'm fucking. This wine's hitting me hard.
Good.
Proper 12,
like 3 hours.
doesn't his company have a deal with the UFC every time Conor fights that his company logo Proper 12 is displayed on on the mat?
Sure.
He's gonna make
Some shit.
Yeah. He's gonna make so much
It's
money.
probably like a boost in profits right there. It's like,
But that's not his purse. He's saying, I will donate my purse.
His
You
purse.
don't need to pay me for that.
Little man purse.
Well, that's the thing. The purse is a couple $100,000. He doesn't give a shit about that.
Yeah, the UFC paying him is a smaller percentage of his total winnings from a fight. And so the UFC not paying him, okay, big deal. He just lost.
Sponsors and stuff. He must have lost sponsors, like a lot of sponsors.
I don't know, but
In the last year or so, with all the shit he's been doing, like who the fuck's still sponsoring
Things that
this
most
guy?
of his
Tons
sponsors...
of
Besides his own company.
Exactly. That's the problem. He has 2 or 3 companies that are doing everything for him, and he just makes money off of them.
Does he?
Because they
Does he?
promote other stuff.
Does he, though?
Yeah, he's got people that train with him, and so they pay him to train with him. He's got his own stuff.
Okay.
the way I see it, UFC not paying him, big deal. He loses 10, 20% of whatever he was going to make. He's still going to make over $1 million.
And like I
every
said,
time
that's
fights.
a good little bit of PR for him if he's donating money to some foundation locally wherever they're fighting, even if he does it back in Dublin or Ireland.
He says he wants to fight in Vegas. He wants
Well,
to fight in Vegas.
those are his 2 hometowns, are Vegas and Dublin. So
He wants to fight in Vegas against Edgar.
the Edgar one is so weird.
Edgar's got to come up to 145, right?
Well, he's at 145.
140.
Edgar one is so weird.
Edgar's got
155.
155. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I
Because
just feel
honestly,
I
I'd
don't
like
know,
to
I don't
see
see
Conor cut all the way back
We've
down
talked
to
about this
145.
already, and I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it until I actually see the fight made and I actually see him make weight. I don't see Conor going down to 145 again.
Same. I agree.
Yeah, just throw it. That's
That's
it.
the only way I
All I have
think
to say
that the
about
fight, like, when they keep talking about it not being... When Dana comes out and says, like, oh, Jorge's too big for Conor, or, like, Frankie's going down to... Like, that's the only way that it would be a somewhat legitimate even fight, is if they made it at 145. If they make it at 155, that's stupid.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Conor's going to have such a huge power advantage on him at 155. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It would end in the first round. He'd knock him out in the first round.
What else we got?
Yeah, I think that might have been all I had.
That's all I can think about.
That it?
Nothing else.
All right. Shot of hot sauce.
Hey,
So-
Ryan.
Thank you. Just want to make sure that's
You're
it.
welcome.
You good?
Thank you, Zach, for taking the bet, and I lost. Thank you, Jeremy Stevens,
Goddamn right you
for
lost.
losing. And thank
Fuck
you,
yeah, he
Yair, for fucking up Jeremy Stevens.
Yes,
I was
very much so.
hoping
Because
so-
I would not want to take a shot of hot sauce.
To the viewers, the
Those
6,
at home.
7, 8, maybe all the way up to like 72, I think is our highest
Dude, we
one.
might get like double digits on this one. You never know.
15
Maybe.
subscribers.
NSFW. Yeah, fuck all that. I am so glad I didn't have to do that. So
Ooh,
glad.
attaboy.
You know what made
Proud
me
of you,
even more
Ryan.
glad than actual me? Is my butthole.
This
A
guy's
little
talking
pocket
fights.
of hot sauce just riding its way through Ryan's
Oh my God.
intestines.
Oh.
This is Guys Talking Fights, episode 9. I'm
Episode
Ryan.
9. Like,
Rate,
share,
subscribe.
subscribe,
Review. Thumbs up.
thumbs up,
Later, bitches.
leave a comment.